Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Let's go ahead and get started. Hi everyone, welcome to the final episode of Geeky Gentleman Holiday Month. Not the final episode, the final fan film review for Geeky Gentleman Holiday Month. I am Sid Part 2, joining me today is the real Manos.
Yes, hello, Merry Christmas.
We fucked it up again, god damn it.
What?
I'm what am I? I'm Santa Part 2, that's it.
Yeah, Santa Part 2. Man, I totally forgot. You know,
and you're the real Krampus.
Yeah, you know, when you introduced me as the real man, I was like, oh shit, we're not doing that anymore.
Oh no.
Well,
anyway.
I've committed to the voice, so I'm doing it.
Yes. So this week we're wrapping up holiday month for fan film reviews with a Doctor Who fan film. What is that Doctor Who fan film, sir?
It is Doctor Who Fan Film Series 3 Christmas Minisode, The Ghosts of Past, Present, and Future.
Indeed it is. So this is an interesting case, because we've actually talked about this series of fan films. You'll know it's Doctor Who Fan Film Series 3. This has been featured on the show before. I'm trying to remember if... Oh, no, it was with Rasco and I. Rasco and I did the pilot of this series. So it's kind of interesting to get, like, a look at the pilot and look at them 3 seasons into doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm aware of what my general thoughts on the pilot were. Like, I remember a lot of the generals. I don't remember a lot of my specific points. But I think I'm gonna say out the gate, without having gone back to listen to my thoughts on the old episode, because I didn't want to color it too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of my critiques are gonna sound familiar. There's a lot of technical issues here and there. There's a lot of really smart decisions I wish more Doctor Who fan films would go with, that I don't understand why they don't, because the conceit is right there for you. And there's just some really impressive dedication to the nuts and bolts of the thing that I can't deny. I'm kind of blown away by it, and I got a lot of respect for. But since this is your first encounter with this fan series, what'd you think?
I rather dug it quite a bit. I did get very quickly that this was part of a series these guys were doing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just from the title that gives away. But I took a look at their channel and they did more. And I really appreciate the fact that they kind of are building their own stuff with this universe, which I wish, you know, more, you know, for those doing, you know, fan series like this, I think that's a good way to go about this kind of thing. The premise, I think, really sold me. Yeah, they've done Doctor Who is very affiliated with Christmas, of course. And I'm not sure, now keep in mind, I'm not the biggest Whovian in the world, but I'm not sure if they've ever done this premise before.
Or the Doctor just joins himself on Christmas?
Yeah,
Not that I'm aware of.
I really love that idea. Like, you know, he's a lonely guy, he's time traveler, he's already, like, teamed up with himself in the past. Like, oh, why don't I have a me Christmas party? And it's, I don't know, it's a pretty fun idea. There is some kind of, and we'll probably get into that, there's a little, I felt like there was a couple of audio gaps in it. And, you know, the actors are not professional actors for the most part. But they seem to really enjoy the roles a lot. They seem to be 100% in, and they have pretty good chemistry with each other.
Yeah, I'd agree with pretty much all of that. This is one of those things where there's definitely some real capability here and talent, but I just don't think it's... They would be really good at putting on a Doctor Who stage play.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I'm getting to, because it's not really about the acting skills. There's such a great attention to detail with set design, and that really, even though it was much more amateurish in their pilot, it clearly improved significantly here. So they're really putting in a lot more effort as they go, and I just out of curiosity, I went through and just skipped around in their latest upload of a proper film project with this, and it only gets better, really. They only get better at that side of things. The technical filmmaking side is the biggest problem I have here, but even that gets better with future stuff. So it's a hard thing to do, because part of the reason we do these reviews are for feedback for the filmmakers, right? So it's hard not to be like, oh, well, you did this poorly here, but I see in your future work you've done it better, so should I even talk about it? I'm like, yeah, I should talk about it, because this is still a review of what's existing, right?
Yeah.
So the technical side of the set design, the costuming, it's a little cheap, but at the same time, the Doctor's got some pretty outrageous outfits, so the idea of getting some of those together, it's understandable why you wouldn't want to do that, or you wouldn't want to go too extravagant, especially if you're not actually planning to switch Doctors anytime soon in your fan cast series. I can totally understand why the costumes for the other two Doctors aren't super elaborate, but they're functional. They look like things I could see a version of the Doctor wearing. Maybe a little cheap, but it's whatever. It'd look fine if it were on a stage. I wouldn't question it. It's just that I can see it really close up on the camera, so there's things that pop out more. The set design for the TARDIS is absolutely fantastic. I remember one of my very particular criticisms of the pilot episode is there's a Doctor Who sonic screwdriver kit you can buy where you can mix and match pieces to make your own custom Doctor Who sonic screwdriver. And I was like, why didn't you just get that instead of using the 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver? And here, they made their own sonic screwdriver and they didn't even use the kit, so that's really cool. I'm really impressed by that. That's super awesome that they made their own. It's it looks a little handmade and everything, but again, if it were on stage play, I wouldn't question that at all. So they're almost there. There's all these things that are just shy of it, of filmmaking quality, and so it's and I think the audio gaff you mentioned is where that comes to a head the most. Is you notice it the most there because audio is something that really jumps out in your head, but at the same time they have I feel not completely fixed that. They've definitely worked on it and gotten better about it in other projects they've done since this.
Yes, especially since it comes so early in the episode. It's definitely one of those types of things when you hear such a audio gaff or see a big visual gaff early in the film, that does tend to stick with you throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
Like a good example is Birdemic. When Rod walks into the restaurant and that woman's terrible audio says hi, you can barely, function how that connects. That's one of the first things anybody says in the movie. I think it might be the first line in the movie, and that kind of sets you on the tone. So, it's bad to get off the wrong foot on a technical standpoint. It's so early because let's say you're into the movie and you get a gaff like that, and then you can overlook it.
Yeah, I think so. And there's just like this general rule of thumb with video and audio editing, which is you can have a pretty bad visual quality film, but if you have really crisp audio, for some reason it like tricks your brain into thinking it's better than it actually is.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You can have like really nice quality video, but if you have really bad audio, it just makes it all, it ruins the presentation of the whole thing because it distracts you in a way. It's something that just bugs and distracts you. So it's one of those things where this isn't just advice for these filmmakers, but for any filmmaker really. If you're looking into it, don't go cheap on the audio. You know, budgeting can always be tight and everything, but as far as the equipment, if it's between a really great camera, a really great sound mic, or really great sound mics, go for the mics. Just a really, really good tip because it can just, it immediately makes everything better. And I remember I got into this argument when I worked at the news station with my goddamn corporate heads. We've got the HD cameras. I'm like, you could broadcast this shit on frickin' 80s video, and if you had better quality mics, no one would care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so it's just one of those things. It's a weird little quirk, and it's something worth thinking about. So for me, one of the things I do really like about this, and that I wish more Doctor Who fan projects, because I've seen a fair amount of them, and it seems like this would just be the go-to, and that the others should be the exception, and it's completely the opposite. Why the hell don't more Doctor Who fan films do a new Doctor? The conceit is right there. It's on a silver fucking platter for you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you couldn't ask for something better than that. And yet, they always go... I see so many Doctor Who fan projects that just... Oh, it's David Tennant, it's Chris Eccleston, it's Matt Smith, it's Peter Capaldi, it's Tom Baker, it's whoever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, stop it. Just do it with a new character.
Yeah, you think, I mean, out of all these things that are tailor-made to do that, because, you know, the Doctor has grown into this idea that, you know, he could be anybody. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, why not? Like, just, your fan film, it's not canon. Who gives a shit? Go for it.
Yeah, and so what I really like about this is not only, and I've liked that since the beginning of the series, not only have they gone firmly down that path of this is our Doctor, this is like an alternate universe from the Matt Smith point going forward, this is our Doctor, but like they really commit to that, and we get 2 new Doctors, and both of them are new Doctors. Mm-hmm. It's a multi-Doctor crossover with Doctors that, to my knowledge, we haven't even seen in the fan series yet.
Yeah.
Question mark, question mark, question mark. And that haven't been introduced in the live action, in the actual series. That's a really cool move, and it's kind of fun that they talk about all the better versions of themselves that there have been, and they go like, oh, the space hobo. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I agree. It's just so wonderful because, like, you know, you can do that with. There are some characters you could do that with, but yeah, Doctor Who is just so set for that. So yeah, that's one.
I should say, I'm not sure that they haven't been introduced. That these 2 versions of the Doctor have not been introduced in this fan series. That's an assumption based on just kind of the way the film presented itself. So, if that's not the case, I'll say it's not a problem, but it wasn't made very clear that they've run into each other before.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, I think this is the first time I've seen any of their series, so I only watched this one. Mm-hmm. So I am curious about watching more. I know we're not at the end yet, but yeah, this this has me curious. In the future, sometime this year, I think I'd like to revisit this channel and do another Doctor Who fan film from them.
It would be interesting because, like I said, I've seen the pilot. This is kind of like right in the middle, and they're still going with it, and that's just really respectable. a lot of fan projects just fizzle out really early on, and they set themselves up to be something that's meant to go on forever and ever, and so it's like kind of disappointing. This is something that's like really set itself up to go on for a while, and it's gone on for a while. It's called Doctor Who Fan. It's like DW 2012 or something like that's the channel name.
Yeah.
They've been doing this shit since like 2012, 2013. That's good on ya. Like I can't deny that's really good. Also another thing, since I did talk a lot about some of the technical deficiencies, I do want to offer some praise. And this is again has been since pretty much the beginning. They've gotten a lot better, and it started out pretty decent at the visuals with the TARDIS and stuff, and the opening closing credits. They're really good at that. There's a lot of elements that just exist online and are really easy to get a hold of to be good at that with, but still, that's impressive. That they just got good at doing it, and it looks well integrated. I'm not even sure if it's an element that's like just completely pre-rendered online, or if it's something if they got like a 3D model of the TARDIS and are doing this on their own entirely now, or what. But it's looking pretty legit. It looks I'd say kind of like the 2005 early 2005 era stuff. As far as like the TARDIS flying around at the beginning and stuff.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I'm trying to think. So I like the fact that like after the other variant doctors leave, I like that scene with his companion. I didn't catch her name. I don't know what her name was supposed to be, but they have these companions are are also original, it seems. And I don't know. I like that scene quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I'll say the acting from just everybody here is varying levels. Like I think I noticed the companion, which is what made me think of it. I think I noticed the companion like look at the camera at one point during one of the shots, and I was like, oh, don't do that.
Oh, oops! I didn't catch that.
I caught it because that's something I know I did when I was on film. It's really funny if you go back and watch a bunch of the idiot movies my friends and I made. Usually I'm wearing sunglasses, and I did that so you couldn't tell that I was looking at the camera.
Very clever.
And then the funny part about that is, whenever I do videos like on my channel or something, and I'm like talking to the camera, I never want to look at the fucking camera.
Yeah, man, you got it all wrong. You got it all backwards.
I know. So it's just one of those things. I notice it because I do it, but it is something to watch out for as far as the directing goes. It might be a pain in the ass. You might roll your eyes about doing it, and you might make your friends hate you. But yeah, always do a second take because that shit gets distracting. I'll always do another take. It's unfortunate. It's just something you got to do.
Yeah, even when you like a take, do another one for safety.
Yep. So stuff like that just comes to mind. What else can we talk about with this one? All right, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because this is like a mini-sode that's released, it seems almost as a special kind of between their seasons or something.
Yeah.
Do you feel, as someone that has not watched what they're doing with their own little continuity here, that everything being talked about is way too continuity heavy? Or do you think that's like they've kind of earned it by going this long?
That's a great question.
Because my opinion on it is, I think about the Christmas specials, and a lot, like the Doctor Who Christmas specials from the 2005 series onward, they're kind of 50-50. Sometimes they're really continuity heavy, like you got David Tennant's first episode's a Christmas special, Matt Smith's last episode is a Christmas special, and both of those are very continuity heavy. But a lot of the Christmas specials tend to be more standalone. It's it just I've noticed that a lot of the Christmas specials from the new series tend to be way more standalone, and I think that might just be better like mood to go for, especially with the premise this like kooky with all these different versions of the Doctor showing up. It might have worked better if it was just standalone and they didn't really talk about anything within their own continuity.
Or maybe done a little more establishing for newcomers. Just kind of bring us up to speed with the exposition, either told through like conversation or visuals. So yeah, I would, to answer your question, I do think it's a little lore heavy for this Christmas episode. Because to be honest, like I had to figure out, like, is she the lost companion they're talking about? Like, is this supposed to be a companion from the regular series or from this series? I was guessing from this series because they may have like obviously used a picture of that if that was the case, that would have been a good way around that. Or if maybe she had played that character. I don't know. So, it wasn't very clear to me on that regard.
Yeah, and then you got like the future Doctor, and he's like, "Oh, this guy is coming, or this bad thing's gonna happen." I'm like, okay, like I appreciate that you're trying to tease in between stuff for your fans in between seasons. This is a Christmas special. You say your season's not coming until summer. Yeah, that's a bit of a while. So I can appreciate it on some level, and on some level, the fact that you keep going with this, you've certainly earned the right to do that. And if it's something your fans like, you should probably listen to them over me.
Yeah.
But doing a Christmas special, something like that, is, I feel, an opportunity to give people that jumping on point to get into the series without necessarily having to go back. I feel like that's a pretty smart move to kind of try to pull off, or at least an experiment to try to go with and see if you can generate some new viewership, new subscribers based on a move like that. And like I gotta admit, I totally understand this is probably way out of their budget, but I gotta admit, his like ending speech, I am so much more hype for than what the fan film actually was. Like he's like, "Oh, we'll do 12 days of Christmas from all different times." I'm like, yes, please. I would enjoy the hell out of that. And it's like, then it ends. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine.
Makes me wonder if they've done another Christmas episode since. This is series 3, and I think they're in series 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious what they did. Hey, next year we'll talk about another Christmas episode if they did that.
Oh, maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, we need a few more minutes to fill. You got anything for us, Manos?
Well, you already did bring up the set, and I did like the set. It definitely reminds me of maybe the 70s Doctor Who set, the Doctor Who TARDIS set. Because like 2005 and up, they have like...
They really get grand with it, don't they?
Correct, yeah. It's almost like a movie set. It's larger, like for real. Like they really take advantage of the idea. Where this one does remind me of the Tom Baker kind of era, where the set was getting bigger and like, it still seems a little cardboardy. And I found that incredibly charming. I rather liked it.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. It's it looks a little cramped or whatever. That's probably in like someone's shed, but at the same time, you fucking converted someone's shed or someone's garage into a fucking TARDIS. That's the coolest shit ever.
I know, to make a whole bunch of make a whole series. I don't know. Maybe it's. I mean,
I got a shed now in my backyard, and we just like store the lawnmower and stuff in it. I suppose I could turn my shed into a TARDIS.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Look at you wasting your shed, not making Doctor Who shows. Keeping your precious lawnmower in there.
Oh, man.
But no,
yeah, it's on me.
Yeah,
My bad.
It's your fault. You're a bad shed owner. So, yeah, it might be more obvious because there's more people on the set. There's four people here like cramped in there. So, maybe if it's just
yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe if it's him and just the companion.
Yeah, and I do think it looked better when it was just two people in there.
It didn't. Yeah,
that's totally fair.
Let's see. I didn't catch the companion's name, but it was kind of funny when she I adored her Christmas sweater.
Yes, ugly Christmas sweaters is the best thing ever.
Yeah, and it was so funny because I thought for a brief second is that supposed to be Mabel Pines? Did they do a crossover with Mabel from Gravity Falls? Like they could do it. It's a fan film. But no, okay, it's their own character. But that kind of got me thinking, because I've seen other fans online crossover Doctor Who and Gravity Falls. So that was my instant thought, holy shit, Mabel is finally a companion. Which I don't know. I mean, in the future, if they want to figure out different companions, it'd be cool if they would cross over with companions. Use Mabel or use some other character, or use Agent Scully. Agent Scully would make an amazing companion.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know.
I guess I could see that. That'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be funny. That's actually a step further than what they can do on fan films. Create their own doctors, and I don't know, just use any companion you want. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. You could do that.
Yeah.
That is a thing you could do.
Go nuts. Go ape shit with it.
Yeah. So, I just want to talk a little bit about the timeline of the series because we need a few minutes to fill anyway, and so this could kind of be interesting.
Sure.
So the series, their pilot episode comes out in 2013. This is 2 years later in 2015, and they still got stuff really coming. They released a super edit of their latest season as a movie, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's
so really that's another 3 years down the line. That's it's really impressive to see how they're growing, how they're getting better at it. I remember on the episode that Rasko and I reviewed, the one of the creators commented, is like, oh well, we did make this in 2013. I think we've gotten a lot better since. So I hope you'd check out something more current. And so we didn't quite get there yet, but we're getting more current with you. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, we'll have to check out something else from this channel and some more recent. See if there's something that's not alienating to jump into from a continuity perspective.
Yeah, they literally just posted episodes 2 weeks ago.
I think that's I think they're uploading their soundtrack.
Oh, that's their soundtrack. Yes, you're correct.
Because I was looking at that too when I was looking through their channel. So yeah, just it's really cool to see how this has evolved and stuff. Anything else you want to talk about with this, or do we want to just go ahead and go on to ratings?
We can go on to ratings. I was pretty pleased with this. So much while we were just discussing the video, I decided to subscribe to their channel.
Oh, nice.
So I look forward to seeing more of these guys, and I think later in this year I'd like to discuss a more recent episode. Maybe I think they're about to do 5th series.
Wow, that's so crazy to think about. That's a lot of commitment.
Yeah,
that's really cool, guys.
That's really impressive. Blah 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 blah. Series 4. Okay, series 4. Maybe we'll talk about series 4.
Okay, cool. All right. For me, wait, did you do a rating then?
I did not do a rating yet. Oh, okay. I just want to reiterate some of the things I said. I'm pretty impressed with this effort and, the channel overall. The acting ranged from a little bit of amateurish to professional, but I think in all cases, you can see the heart in these performances. Everybody's giving it all. And I gotta say, like, I was mostly sold on the premise. I really, really loved the idea of the Doctor having a Christmas party with himself. Fantastic. I can't believe if they haven't done that, there's been 50 years of this show, so maybe they've done it. But if they haven't have done that, holy crap, what a missed opportunity that is. And they took it, and they had a very nice episode with it. So
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 doctors.
Nice. For me, I did really enjoy it. I do think there's still a lot of technical stuff, and I'm sure they're working that out or have worked that out by this point. But since I'm just rating the single piece, I'm gonna give this 3 out of 5 new sonic screwdrivers. For Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas present from the TARDIS. I really liked that. That was super fun. All right. Well, Manos, we are finally done with all our theme months.
Whew, thank God.
Whew. Yeah, it gets a little much, right? It gets a little restrictive after a minute there, but it's super fun to do. All right, so we're done with our theme months, and I felt like shaking it up a bit in our next one. But hey, we talked about Doctor Who this time. Let's stick with that time travel theme, and we're gonna do we're gonna change it up and not do a fan film next time. We're gonna do a review of a fan-made manga, and that is called Dragon Ball Wrong Time. Ask me what the premise is, Manos.
Hey, Ian, what's the premise?
Trunks goes back in time, but puts in the wrong coordinates. It ends up where Vegeta and Nappa show up.
What? Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a really cool premise. There's only 5 chapters of the manga, so that should be really easy to read and get through. So I'm very excited for that one. That's super fun. We've done a couple Dragon Ball stuff, and the fact that Dragon Ball fan manga exists is something that excites me to no end. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Until next year, I am the Christmas philosopher.
And I am the Christmas realist.
And we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!